Hey there, I'm Jennifer,
And I'm Jackie.
and welcome to Slightly Unsupervised. We're best friends, business partners in the chaos behind Bestimony, a ceremony we created to celebrate the kind of soulmates who don't come with a marriage license.
This podcast is all about the friendship energy, the deep stuff, the messy stuff, and the laugh till you snort stuff.
So whether you're driving, folding laundry, or hiding in your car for some peace and quiet,
You're in good company. Let's get slightly unsupervised. All right, today our series is about making friends later in life. And this is episode 3, your friendship wounds and patterns, why you pulled away, and how to open up again. Help women recognize the friendship wounds that cause them to withdraw, understand the patterns those wounds created, and feel encouraged, not pressured, to open themselves to healthier friendships.
So this series is about making friends later in life. We're trying to do this for those of us that struggle later in life to make friends. But before we can talk about finding people, we have to talk about what happened.
So many women didn't stop wanting friendship, they stopped feeling safe in it.
So this episode is about the wounds that changed us and how we show up in friendships, and how understanding those wounds can help us move forward instead of staying stuck in old patterns. So first we work on you, and then we work on the connection. So there's a quite a few friendship wounds. No shame. We've all been through it. We don't have time to go over all of the burning that we've had in life that women have burned us, and so have men. We talk a
Mhm.
lot more about how men burned us, so because we're constantly trying to make sure that we stay in relationships with romantic relationships, and so this kind of gets ignored. These are the friendship ones. These are the ones that do damage too, and there's no reason not to acknowledge that you've been burned by somebody or that something has happened to you in previous friendships that has caused these problems for you, and that you withdrew from friends or you withdrew the needing them and you're back to needing them, which Jackie and I are very good advocates that keep your friends, you need them later. We'll say it over and over again. It's important to have friends later in life because you're getting to that point now where you're no longer number one mother. You're not, your job of that has ended, not because you wanted it to end. You got promoted and you have nothing else to do. So now you got to have some friends. So we're saying this. So the key wounds to name: betrayal after trust. Somebody has betrayed you after you trusted them. Ghosting or unexplained endings. We didn't call it ghosting when we were kids, probably just like,
Just
I
stop
never heard
talking
from
to
you.
you.
Yeah, never stopped talking to you. One-sided friendships. Everybody's been in those. I've been in them. Jack, I
Mhm.
know you've been in them too. And then
Mhm.
the last one that comes up quite a bit is being the strong one. You were the one doing everything and the strength for that, and you didn't get the return on that. So these are just the points. These wounds don't happen all at once. They get accumulated and you pull away as often as a self-protection, not protect, to be self-protected, you just stop trying to be friends with people. So we're going to just touch on 2 of them. Becky's going to go first. This is just a little thing about friendship betrayal, and then we'll talk about that, and then I'm going to talk about the second one, which is being the strong one. So go ahead, Jack.
Okay. The friendship betrayal. There's a kind of friendship wound that doesn't come from a big blow up. It comes from trust. If when you finally let someone see the real stuff, the things you don't say out loud, and then one day you realize that what you shared wasn't protected. Maybe it was repeated. Maybe it was minimized. Maybe it was used in a way that made you feel small. After that, something shifts. You don't stop wanting friends. You just stop telling the truth so freely. You start editing yourself. You keep things light. You convince yourself you're fine handling things alone. The betrayal doesn't make you bitter. It makes you careful. And the carefulness isn't a flaw. It's a memory. Healing doesn't mean you tell everyone everything again. It means you learn the difference between someone who listens and someone who holds what you give them.
Yeah,
So your secrets.
100%. Yeah. I mean, we've all been betrayed, Jackie. I know you've been
Mm-hmm.
betrayed. I've been betrayed. These are not things that don't happen. They happen frequently. I think
Mm-hmm.
as we age, they happen less when you're young. Betrayal goes on all day long. I mean, I'm always was one is especially when I was younger, I was like, don't tell me anything because I don't know. I'm not supposed to remember. I don't remember. I'm not supposed to tell anybody. It wasn't malicious, but I would pass your information on to somebody else about something.
That's why I learned how to say, "Don't tell anybody." You're not the only one, though. I have to tell my husband that too all the time because he
Because
starts
he's
talking too much.
social. He's like,
Yes.
oh, and then
And
you're
it's
like,
like, "Hun,
no.
now I'm telling you now, please don't repeat this. They don't want this repeated."
Right.
But he even says
Exactly.
if you tell him that, then he remembers.
He
Otherwise,
remembers.
he's
He's
going
gotta
with
put
it.
it in his memory bank, though. You just tell him lightly, he's like, "Oh, yeah. Did you
Yeah.
hear?" And then he
"Did you
tells
look
the
at my eyes? Look at my eyes. Look in my eyes," like you do with your kids. "Do you hear me?"
repeat after me. I will not tell anybody. I will not tell anybody. Exactly. So, but It's all happens, and betrayal happens on every level in every way. Your family betrays you, your friends betray you, your
I was gonna say
boyfriend
that, yeah,
betrays you.
family.
Yeah, it happens all the time, y'all. Like, it's a learning curve. Betrayal happens, particularly when you're younger. And if you're one of those people, and we read a lot of these, I read a lot of them. You are married, you've been married 30 years, you've raised up your kids, you're now looking for some friends. You had friends, they betrayed you, or they did something. You decided you didn't need them. You just went on with, being married and dealing that and thinking you were going to be a mother. They're going to need you forever, which they don't. So you're
Mhm,
back to this situation. Well, go back to we're saying it's pretty important to go back to the reason why you fell out from friendships. You've got to start there, guys. You got to start with what happened and how do you fix that part of it so you're open to being friends
mhm,
with somebody. You have to be vulnerable to be friends. You just do. You can't have a tight, close relationship if you're not willing to be vulnerable. You just can't. You can have a surface friendship, I guess, but if you want to be close to somebody, you have to be willing to feel safe around them, to feel that, but to also let them know some things. And if you keep everything pretty light and fluffy, which we do for friends, we have friends that are not best friends, but in the best friend world, you kind of need to be vulnerable. You need to kind of tell people the understory.
mhm.
But betrayal will teach you that. And hopefully, you're not one of those people listening that goes, "Yep, that's exactly what happened to me." And I warded off all friends after that. And I can't trust anybody. And this is where you're at in life because betrayal happens. I mean, Jack, don't you agree? I mean, you've been
Oh, yeah, it
betrayed.
happens many times,
Yeah.
but
And what's the difference between staying with it and letting it go?
yeah. Well, I've gotten lucky because 'cause I've still got all of you guys,
Yeah.
but, like, the whole thing and that we started this was because of the people that can't find friends and,
Yeah.
went through this on, like, on Facebook, so there's a whole thing on that people join this one that they're just trying to make a friend, they just want someone to talk to because they have no one to talk to,
Right.
and so you gotta figure out how you got there. I mean,
Right.
how are you is there no one in your life that you can talk to
Right. Besides the
ever
one
again?
one person, maybe the husband or something, and sometimes
Mhm.
and then, we do this, I do it. Your kids are your kids. You can't dump on them all the time. Like, you can't be like, "Can you be my
Exactly.
friend? Hey, what are you doing tonight? Hey, what's going on with you? Hey." You can't. It's conflict going on there because they
Mm,
need their own lives and you have to respect that. So you do
mhm.
get to a point, we see a lot of it going on that women get to this point where they are looking for friends and they've had a betrayal or they've had something because otherwise I think you would keep your friends. Most friendships can withstand some time or if you haven't kept up with them, you can certainly call and catch up with them. And if you don't have that, you don't have anybody. You got to start with what happened. What happened that caused this? That
Yeah,
you
the back at look at you. Well, first work on you, then
first work
work
on
on
you.
the connection. Mhm.
Yeah. So
And I do feel sorry, like, there was one story of a girl on the Facebook, and she had went to because of the holiday parties,
mhm.
and she just have little connection to one lady that didn't end up going, and so she went to this Christmas party and literally sat by herself, and nobody came over, no one offered her to sit down or even really talk to her. But then I'm like, "Why? Why can't you go up to them and talk?" You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Um, and so, I mean, work that would be hard. I mean, I have
Yeah,
no problem making friends wherever I go with, even at work, I made
right,
friends. And there was ones I had like connection and then, man, I got betrayed bad and that's
right,
done. But I could
right,
still go to work every day. I still had other people I talked to. Uh,
right.
but I'm just like this girl, I was just kind of, I wanted to look at her profile pictures. I want to look at everything to try to figure out what is why? Like,
Right. Yeah,
because
you're
she was
like,
like
"Something must be
so,
wrong." Yeah. But I
but
would
I couldn't
be
see anything wrong.
right. You're like, no visible there was no visible reason why this didn't happen. But that's me. Didn't we just talk about this on the last episode? But I said, when people are in my energy space, when I'm the hostess, I'm watching everybody, right? I learned to
Mhm,
watch everybody. If everybody's happy, I can be happy. That happened in childhood. That's the way it was with my mother. That's the way it is now. So if you aren't if you're not happy over there, I, as a hostess, would move myself over there and be like,
mhm,
hey, how are you? I would go out of my way to make people feel comfortable, which
mhm.
is what I would do. I would not just ignore you because I think that's, to me, that's an unsafe space and I need to fix that so that my environment stays safe. So, I have my own issues from stuff, but I would have gone up to her and said, hey, and then be like, hey, have you met so and so? This is so and so. I would do that. That is the kind of
Mhm.
person I am. I'm pretty sure if you had somebody at your house and that was the case, you would probably
Yeah,
spend more time trying to make them feel like, hey, do you want
yeah.
to play a game? Come over and sit with me. You can sit right next to me. Like, I know that's how you would be. That's how I am.
Mhm.
And, we're sort of protective of about people to some degree, but you have to bring something, right? You just sit there and like, no,
Mhm.
I don't want to play. No, I'm just going to sit here. Then I would be like, okay, that's a choice you're making. I can't help you anymore. Like, I've done
Mhm.
what I can. Would you feel that
Well,
way?
like she said, and so it's like I wanted to make remarks back, but I'm new to the group, so I'm not gonna say
Yeah.
anything, but I'll just keep
Right,
reading.
right, right. Right,
But my thing was like, why is it their job to come to you? Why aren't
right,
you going to them? Why didn't you just sit down at one of the tables? Why do they have to ask you to come sit down?
right,
You know? So it's
right,
like we're talking about energy and stuff too, and just putting yourself out there. And
right,
like you said, there's introverts and stuff, but she wants to make friends. Well, you got to do something about it. You've got to do something. Otherwise, you're going to be sitting there by yourself every single time because you're not trying either, you know? And they might just think it's you. Maybe you put off like you're shy or whatever you don't want. Maybe you got that rusting bitch face and somebody doesn't think you're a happy person. So they don't want, but if you
yeah,
start talking, they might see another side of you. You know what I mean?
right, right. Yeah, you
So,
have to be vulnerable, that's what I said. You have to be
mhm,
vulnerable. You have to say some things and people have to go, do I do I feel your energy? Do I not feel your energy? Like, you have to display who you are and you have to kinda come out of it. Otherwise, you've got to go to and if you were an introvert, if this was a lady that was an introvert, which she may have been, or an
mhm,
introvert, doesn't sound like she was an extrovert because extroverts just come in and blast the place. If you are and you go somewhere where it's a social interaction and it's full of people, you're gonna go to a party, it's gonna be in an extroverted environment. Just it is, okay? That's how who has parties? People that are more extroverted have parties. People that are introverts do not throw big parties. So if you're an introvert going to an extrovert type of event, you've got to bring some of your energy with it. You have to
mhm,
say, "Today I'm going to get out of my comfort zone and I'm gonna go talk to somebody." And be like,
mhm,
"Hey, where are you from? Hi, I'm just here. My friend was gonna come, but she didn't show up. I'm just kind of looking for some people to hang out with." You could do that. People would probably take you in. I would take you in. I'd be like, "Hey,
mhm,
yeah, come on, over here. You could sit with us." Like, but those people watching you, if I was at a party and you saw me staring at you and smiled, that's your cue, right? That's
mhm,
your cue. Hey, they made a gesture towards me. Maybe that's somebody that I can be like, "Hey, I just saw you smile. Thank you. I was feeling a little shy over there because I don't know anybody. Do you know anybody? Can you introduce me?" There's some things you can do to make your environment better too. But do
mhm.
not be an introvert. Go to an extrovert party and expect everybody to embrace you because they're about energy. Extroverts love high energy, a lot of communication, a lot of whatever. They want to be around people like them. So if you're not like that, you're going to have a problem in the extroverted world. So you might start with an introverted activity, right? If you're really just getting out for the first time, I don't suggest you go to a big party and see if you can fit in. I don't think it's a
Yeah,
good solution for that. So, okay. So,
that's true.
anyways, being the strong one, here's another wound this one's a little quieter. It's the wound of always being the strong one. The one people call when you were falling apart, the one who shows up and remembers, checks in, holds space. And for a long time, you don't notice anything's wrong because you're needed until one day you need someone and there's no one there. So you tell yourself you don't need help. You stop reaching out. You get really good at handling things alone, not because you're independent, but because you've learned needing people didn't work out. Eventually you just pull away because you don't want friends. You eventually pull away because you don't want friends. It's you pull away because you're tired of being the only one carrying the weight. And healing here isn't about becoming colder. It's about learning that real friendship isn't built on usefulness. It's
Yep.
built on mutual care. 100%. I've had those relationships too, where I've carried most of the weight, and then I stopped carrying the weight and noticed that it
You were
wasn't
carrying the weight.
I was carrying the weight. I was carrying that friendship, and when I stopped
Mhm,
doing it, it folded and fell apart because what I needed was the other person to give something back and just refused to do so. And you're like, "Wow, was that even a friendship?" Like, I get you here, girls, on this one. I'm that person. I've had this happen to me, and they're like, "I don't have anything for you. If you don't have anything left to give me, then we don't have a friendship anymore." So I get this one. This one is something that had happened with a really good friend of mine. And it's weird because I don't understand it. And I guess I carried the weight and I didn't even know I carried the weight. That's just my nature, I guess. But the minute I need something back from you, I got dead silence and nothing. And it was very shocking to me to have to go through that. And it's not for everybody, but it happens. So I'm one good for this one. Have you had that, Jackie, where you felt like you were the one holding that friendship together and then kind of fell apart?
Oh, definitely. I think everyone has if they've had a
Yeah.
lot of friendships, for sure,
Yeah. Oh,
which
yeah,
is a
for sure.
bummer, for sure. Which is a real bummer because it always, all of it hurts,
Yeah.
but you just gotta come out and learn from it. That's how I
Right.
look at it. You just gotta
Yeah.
learn from it and then don't make those same mistakes when you're choosing new friends.
Right. Like, let something happen and see if somebody
Mhm,
gets in gets in a place to help you. Like,
mhm,
does happen, no doubt about it, but that's
mhm.
just the wrong person. Maybe you are taking too much of the lead. Maybe you need less lead in the beginning, a little more balance, and then you can build from that instead of just kind of taking care of everything and then
And we're
kind
not
of
just
see.
talking about new friends. This has, like, happened with friends that we had for quite a while,
Mhm.
the betrayal, but it just took a long time, and I think also sometimes it takes longer because you do go kinda different directions, raising your kids, doing your stuff, and then all of a sudden you
Right.
come back, and then you might be different people at that point. Other things happened in between, everything going
Right.
on.
Right.
But it's still I know what I want in my friendships, and that's what I'm sticking to, so
Right.
I
Right.
don't have
And you get
time
more
anymore. We're 55. I don't have time to sit there and keep making excuses for you to be my
right.
friend.
Right. Yeah, if you're making excuses about somebody, like,
Mhm.
a good friend, I will say, will tell you, "I don't really see that person as your friend." Do you? It will at least bring it to your attention so that you can kinda see things, be like, "Are you sure that person's your friend? Doesn't feel like it." Like, I
Mhm.
would be one of those people that would bring it to your attention, be like, so when people say something to you, also pay attention. It's not always bad. Sometimes people looking out for you and sort of like bring it back to your attention so that you can make better decisions on that or at least be attention to them. So,
And
it
you've done
happens.
that. You've done that with our group, so that's for sure. You're definitely a
Call it out,
someone who'll
man.
do it. You don't hold back. But you
Well,
were
because
right. But you were right. I mean,
I
it's a
know, but
bummer, but you were right.
I care more about my friends than
Mhm.
I care about
The
being
person
liked.
that's treating us bad. Mhm.
Yeah. Like being liked by them. Like,
Mhm.
and I never said to you, and I did say it, "Hey, are you guys watching this? Because this person isn't a very good person." At least not what I say. You guys do what you wanna do. I'm just letting you know what I see. So, I didn't demand you make a change. I simply brought it to your
No.
attention and said,
You
"That's
did
what I see."
demand that we weren't doing any more vacations with that group that with the
Well,
girl
that's
that
right.
girl
I'm
group.
not going on any more of those. You girls
We're
go on
only
your own.
doing us 5, and that's it. No more of adding people to our girl group trips.
We do get in a little more trouble when there's more people though, so
Yeah.
you can see how that could be a little bit of it. So, anyways, it's
Mhm.
really about kind of figuring out where some old wounds lay, some things that you have developed about wounds that have happened to you and, to move beyond it. And I do this often in when I can't sleep at night is I'll go through all of my friendships, all my relationships. I just start from the beginning. And I always try to find out what were they there to teach me? What did I learn from them? And what was great about it? As time goes on, I forget relationships have bad parts. But so if you do have one, if there's a wound in you and you carry it forward, you can't love somebody if you've got a wound problem because you're not exactly open to them or open to situations. You're kind of closed off. If you're one of those people, you got to name the wound. What happened to me? Where does this problem come from so that you can start to think about how to move past it? Like, name it. Be like, that person betrayed me. I never want to be around girls, or that girl stole my boyfriend, or whatever happened.
Mhm.
Name the problem and try to figure out. Once you've named it, you can then start dealing with it, right? You can start saying, okay, that's the problem I had. This person doesn't have anything to do with that. Let me not bring that baggage into this friendship, at least drag it to begin with, because then you're not really open. You're just, you're a damaged human going into a damaged relationship. Two damaged people can't get together and heal. So you got to heal some of this stuff. So name the wound, and then we don't have to minimize the problem, just name it. Like, what happened that made you act this way? And you got to separate its experience from the past from the experience going forward. You cannot drag. Imagine every boyfriend you ever had. This is easier to deal with because we talk about women and men more time. There's more time spent on this relationship. But imagine if you didn't get past everything that's ever happened to you in a relationship when you were with somebody and you made the person that you're with pay for all of those sins of those people that hurt you and they didn't have anything to do with it.
And it's true because I went through that. Like, when I'm with the husband I'm with now, he had such patience with me because if I had 2 children,
Mhm.
I was married for a lot of years, and a lot of betrayal, a lot of stuff happened. But my husband he's like, "I can't wait till you can see yourself. You're a good person. You're beautiful." because I was just down on myself. Like, I didn't think anything. And he was just like, I can't wait till you start to see yourself the way I see you. And it was the sweetest thing, but he had the patience with it because I would be like, oh, how do I look? Oh, if I gain any weight, like, I had to be had to be the Stepford wife is what I was.
Right.
Was our little, I was called that literally.
Yeah, you're bringing that relationship into your new relationship, and he's like, "I don't need you to do that stuff." And you're like,
I mean, I still had to be dressed so perfectly cutesy, everything, da, da, da. Now I'm like, he gets the sweatpants and the sweatshirts.
"'Cause he loves you.
Yeah.
There's no problem
Mhm.
with that." And even as your
Mhm.
friend when they were going through the other relationship was like, that person does not it's not
Mm.
a good relationship. They don't treat you the way you should be treated to or
Mhm.
respect you the way you should be or appreciate you for the way you are. Like, that's what I
Mhm.
wasn't mad
Your
about that part.
friendships.
Yeah, exactly. So, you can't bring your old crap into a newer friendship and into a new relationship because you've gotta make peace with that, guys. You gotta make peace with it, as my mother would say, "Make peace with it, move on," because you can't drag stuff into somebody else. You can't make them pay the price for somebody else's sins.
Mhm.
So, and you don't need to share all at once. Good lord. Don't. Drama.
Please, we don't want it all at once. Like, I tell my husband, "Stop."
You can't trauma dump
Stop
on
it.
somebody. Like, I've had so much trauma and this and this and this and this and this and this. And like people are like, oh my God, it's too much. So share in
Yeah.
layers, y'all.
It's like
So
talking about your ex-husband or your ex-boyfriend on your first date with the new guy.
yeah. The guy's like,
Don't do it.
I
That's
don't wanna deal with this. Yeah, that's a great example, Jackie. Exactly. So, a little bit a little bit at a time, little bit at a
Mhm.
time. Let some people test it. If they respond and give you some good advice, be like, "Thanks," I didn't see it that way, but, great. So and then, let consistency earn your trust. So, again, don't put everything on somebody like, "You're my boyfriend today. I just met you, and I need you to be everything." I need you to call me. I need you to send me flowers. I need to know exactly what you're doing 24/7. All that is a lot of energy and a lot of demands on somebody. So let it kind of come a little bit at a time, y'all. Just
Mhm.
take your time with that stuff. And remember that awareness is enough to begin. So again, pinpoint what the problem was, come back to it, be aware of it, make sure you're not dragging that up into a new relationship so that you can actually make friends. You can actually find somebody that isn't going to heal your problem that shows you a different way that you can have a friendship. It's not jobs for other people to heal your old wounds. It's not Jackie's job to heal the relationship that went awry for me. That's between her and I or whoever. And you can't do anything to help me. I have to process that on my own, right? Jack, you can't help
Yep.
me with that. I can't
Right.
help you with
And when we were younger, I did do that. Remember, we had a couple girlfriends that got in a very big fight.
yeah, and you tried to
And
fix it.
I picked one up in my car, picked the other one up in my car, took them down to go to a party because I was gonna fix it. This is
Right.
all gonna be fixed. We're all gonna be like how we were before. And it was
Right.
never gonna be that way.
Right.
And to this day, they're not
Right.
as close like they were when back then. And it was just
Right.
something that happened and we were all young and whatever. But no
Right.
one ever got past it. But I tried.
I know. We always try. We can do this. We can all get back together. And you know what friendship I'm talking about when I'm talking about the one I had. And I know which
Mhm.
friendship you're talking about when you're talking about the ones because we're best
Mhm.
friends. We know we're not talking about these people online or we're not airing the names on the
Yeah.
on thing, but we know we're talking about. Jackie can't help me solve that. She can't. She knows what happened. She's there if I want to talk about it. She can be an ear to me, but she can't heal me. I have to go through the work to heal that relationship internally. It's not something that I'm going to forget. It's not something that she can help me with. It's something that happened. I have to deal with it. I have dealt with it. I talk about it. To talk about something means that you've come a little bit of a way with it because if you can't talk about it, you're just hiding it from the problem and you haven't dealt with any of it. So and the same with Jackie. She has a friend that she talks about that I know she was good friends with, and she's not friends with him anymore. And there's nothing more to say to her except when she says something to me, is that I can be a supportive person. Be like, I know that happened. But I can't heal you. I can't
No.
say, I'm going to fix this for you. I can't. There's nothing I can do. You have learned from that relationship. I have learned from the relationship I'm talking about. And both of us are respectful enough to know that it's not our problem to deal with. It's your problem that you have to solve on your own. And you have to heal yourself, and I have to heal myself. And the best thing we can do is just listen if you want to talk about it, right? That's kind of the bounce some dice ideas off you. Give me some of your, what do you think? And we can do that. But it's not Jackie's job. It's not my job to heal her wound that she has. And you've got to remember that when you're kind of going into this stuff. Like, you've got to fix the wound. And if you fix it, you have a better chance of having relationships with people that you know because you're aware of it. Awareness is part
Mhm.
of the problem. You don't know what you don't know. It's a saying, you don't know what you don't know. And you're like, what? And you're like, you don't, there's a lot of stuff you don't know about. And when you bring it forward and you put it in front of you and now you know about it, then you can deal with it. But when you don't know, you can't do anything. So you've got to get aware of the problem and start to deal with it. So, anyways, there's a listener worker thing that we're going to put on there about it's a reflective exercise. Jackie and I'll go through it. It's my friendship red flags and green flags. So, this is going to be on the link underneath where the website or the podcast is. So, we've done this many times, but we're going to do it again for y'all. All right, Jackie, red flags that you notice now as a 55-year-old in friendships.
Jealousy.
Jealousy. Yeah. Um,
Jealousy is a
yeah.
big one.
Possessiveness, I think, is
Mhm.
if I can't be friends with everybody, it's hard to deal with you because I can't be a one. Don't tell me what to
Person
do.
no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Like, I have friends here, I have friends there, I'm not mhm.
right. And we would
Exactly.
never tell each other like, "Jackie, what are you doing this weekend? I can't believe you're going out with so and so." Like, aren't we friends? Like,
"Why aren't you
what does
flying
that
out to
have to
Nashville and hang out with me?"
you can't put that shit on people. Like, good, have fun. Tell me how it goes. Like, and the other thing that we've always said, I'll say it again. Jackie makes a friend. I'm pretty sure I'm going to like him. There was the one. I didn't like her, but because you vetted him. And I'm like, oh, we like you. Like, it's great. But
Mhm.
there are things that are red flags now that you need to pay attention to and you need to notice them. And, jealousy is one of them. Bullshitters, or Jackie and I are probably not going to go
Oh,
well.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, no.
We're
I
like,
can't I can't handle your BS stories. I just
yeah,
can't.
no. We
And
don't
we
want to
can
hear,
usually call them. We usually know them.
yeah. We're like, that's a
We've been
bullshit.
around for a while.
Your story doesn't line up and it doesn't
It
make any
doesn't
sense
line up.
and
And
it's
that
way too
year
perfect.
no, that year, they didn't even have that car then. What are you talking about?
Like detectives listening
I'm
to
all
your story.
Googling everything, like, that's bullshit.
Jackie's now looking at the fluff balls on the ceiling and she's just checked out. Okay, so green flags, if we're gonna go through red flags, which we talked about,
Mhm.
let's go through green flags. What makes you feel safe, Jack, and a friend
Just
now?
let me be myself.
Yeah. Consistency?
Mhm.
Like someone who doesn't,
Consistency.
yeah, like you can get a hold of or is around. And I think just
Letting me be myself. Yeah, I like that
we
one.
like people that have your back. I'm a have your back person. I'm a have your back person, so I kinda like having my back too. Like, I will say that's a green flag for me if something happens and someone's like walks in like, "I don't think so. You're not talking to my friend that way." Like,
Yeah,
we'd be good.
exactly.
We'd be good because
Mhm.
I can trust that, and that's something that, I feel like I would feel safe with. And then what's one boundary now, Jackie, that you'll always keep in that just learning from friendships and along the line that you would keep now that maybe not wasn't that way when you were younger, but now it's like, "I've had enough experience. This is the one boundary that we're not gonna do." And it could be just something we've already talked about. It doesn't have to be something new.
Um, I don't know. I can't think offhand. One I wanna keep.
One
Boundary.
boundary that is just needs to be
Popped into your head?
yeah, is it's ones we already talked about, like, is you gotta be truthful and you gotta be down to earth. I gotta
You
have
gotta be a good
somebody.
person, you
Yeah, good
know? I
people.
don't want, because I don't like to sit there and watch people be mean and talk about people either.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
come on. This is not what I wanna do, is just sit here and just
Bash people.
talk. Yeah.
Why? Because we've been through life now, right? We realize that
Mhm.
life doesn't always work like a fairy tale. And so bashing people is like bashing us too, because it's like, well, my life
Mhm.
wasn't perfect. Your life wasn't
And
perfect.
I did that. Oh, I might have
Yeah,
done that at one point. I guess I can't tell you that because 'cause you're gonna
I
start talking
know.
shit on me.
Right. So it's like
I learned.
you bash when you're younger because life hasn't gotten to you. You don't bash as
Mhm.
much when you're older because life has gotten to you. Whatever has
Mhm.
happened, you start bashing on somebody, that stuff will start happening to you. I am a believer of that. Don't
Mhm.
bring things to your karma that you don't want because you can't be talking about people. So those are just some things. There's just some things to think about. There's some ideas that we gave to you that are important to us. So we just encouraging you to try again. If you pulled away from friendship, it doesn't mean you failed. It just means you've adapted to something that was harmful or hurtful to you. And it's time to start healing that wound that has taken place because it's keeping you from having relationships or finding relationships. So
And now you get to choose connection from wisdom instead of fear.
exactly. So again, figure it out what happened. try to come to terms with it, try to find some peace with it, try to figure out where maybe you weren't so healthy in some things. Because the one thing that I know about life is that you can't expect perfection unless you're perfect. And if you're not perfect, nobody's perfect. You can't expect
Mm-mm.
it from everybody, too. So we all have these issues.
Well, so our final takeaway today is your friendship wounds don't disqualify you from connection. They prepare you for healthier ones. That's what we're trying to help.
All right. If this episode hit you in the feels or made you laugh way too hard, we consider that a win.
Be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your ride or die.
And when you're ready to make your friendship official, book your bestimony at rhinestoneweddingchapel.com.
Because the best love stories don't always come with a ring.
We stick together, ride or die to the moon, and no amount of space could ever come between us two. The reuniting's like we never been apart, and every single time we're eye to eye and heart to heart. There's not enough words to describe what you mean to me. Through heartaches and ups and downs in this life, you've stayed right next to me. I vow to make you laugh till you cry and talk about everything under the moon. The definition of a best friend is you. And we'll keep dancing through the rain, forever connected. Same page, we're writing our story every day. We'll keep on growing, ever changing. There's not enough words to describe what you mean to me. Through heartaches and ups and downs in this life, you've stayed right next to me. I vow to make you laugh till you cry and talk about everything under the moon. The definition of a best friend is you. Is you. Is you. Love, trust, that's us. Loyalty, you and me. Love, trust, that's us. Loyalty, you and me.